Morning, everyone. Welcome to All Four Queens. Hope everyone's doing well on this crisp morning. I mean, it's quite crisp here, but I don't know what it's like with you. A lot of activity last night. The things outside the room have been thrown all over the floor, and I was going to show you. So obviously they've been conjuring up lots of stuff. But today's session, I did say on the previous one I was going to call it the Mad Scientist, but I'm actually going to call this one the Mad Scientist, and I'm going to explain why. And I got that picture to sort of show you the reason why I'm going to call it Mad Scientist, because obviously I've been stranded in the hotel, and obviously whilst I was driving around in the car I was trying to make it so that I didn't have to stay in the hotel, because it was quite clear that every time I went somewhere they were following me, and there was the obsessive stalker that always made sure the room was either above me or below me, and it was constantly just throwing out magic. And obviously we all know from the readings it was DM, the dot, the DEATH magic. And they've been constantly throwing that out all the time, all the time, all the time. Now, obviously, it's been repetitive all the time. Some use fire magic because I can smell it. So, but obviously, that's going to go back, isn't it? Now, I'm seeing outside because obviously I'm on a service station hotel type thing, and there's a lot of cars that are breaking down. So that's a sign that the energy is starting to return. So why do I say the mad scientist? I don't know. I mean, obviously you saw the one about the medical, and I've got another one to do about that. But I've obviously been forced here. And then I say forced, but obviously I've got no car, and trying to get a replacement car, and then to phone people to try and get a car, and they just take forever. So they control like the matrix, one for a better word. Obviously they have a plan, but I suppose God does as well. So there's a reason why everything happens, isn't there? Anyway, so they've obviously, I'm here. They give me this special room that they make sure that there's lots of entities in, and they just sit there because they don't really know what to do. Because obviously, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. And I already banish them anyway in the name of Jesus, and I make sure the room's clean, and I do my own cleaning, and I make sure that it's got the blood of Jesus in it. So for me, I do everything I can. Now, obviously, they have tried to attach things to me, and I said before with Mystic Tori, she said they were trying to petition the dark ancestors who don't want the generational curses broken to sort of, being me. Now, I had that cleanse, something was removed, but not everything has been removed. So obviously I'm still having this thing. Whoever it is wants to scry through my eyes. And obviously every time I'm trying to do stuff. Now, there's two reasons for that. One, they want to just see everything I'm doing. Excuse me, spiritual burp. And obviously they also want to steal my creativity, don't they? So there's that as well. So using the entities to do that. And we know that this is a spiritual channel. So be aware that these things happen, and it is a spiritual channel. So just stick with me if you know what I'm on about. The collective obviously do, and those that mess with the dark arts obviously do. And my channel has been moved so that only those type of people see it anyway, I'm assuming. So the point is, I talked about crabs in the barrel, and obviously they've got me here, and I'm sort of like some sort of lab rat that obviously they're poking the bear with and doing all these things and trying to do stuff to my crown, because obviously there's been all this story about me being having mental health and all this stuff. They've been messing with my crown, hence the picture. Trying to bind to my heart chakra and your root chakra, and put the cords back that the spiritual realm has already removed, and I'm sure they'll remove them again. So anyway, the point that I'm making is, when I had the cleanse, there was a lot of dark energy being thrown at me. So whoever's done the strategy has not really thought about it, because if they were trying to get into my crown to see what God was saying, i.e. my downloads and my third eye, they've actually created a blockage. So using an entity to try and find the stuff in my crown and in my third eye is pointless, because they put that much dark in that they blocked it. And obviously the spiritual realm have blocked it as well, because obviously God's not going to, they're not going to do intuitive messages while somebody just wants to see what is what. Get your own relationship. If you've got a relationship, you should create your own. So there's that. And then there's the other part where they're desperately trying to connect to, like you're trying to draw energy. But again, if you've thrown loads of dark energy into somebody, then you're very, very, very rarely going to get the energy that you're trying to seek. So for me, I don't understand their strategy. I don't understand how they operate. I don't understand the purpose of what they're trying to achieve other than test God, basically. That's all I understand. So there's another bit I want to read to you, and I'm going to explain this to you. So this is out of Matthew 7:14, and it says, Jesus heals many. When Jesus came into Peter's house, he saw Peter's mother-in-law lying in bed with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she got up and began to wait on him. When evening came, many who were demon-possessed were brought to him, and he drove out the spirits with a word and healed all the sick. This was to fulfill what was spoken through the prophet Isaiah. He took up our limitations and carried our diseases. No, he took up our infirmities and carried our diseases. Sorry, I haven't got the right glasses on. I lost them in the hotel. No, the reason why I've just read that is because as a healer, what does it say? Jesus touched her hand. I think people are trying to draw from my body to try and create a healing type potion. And that's not really how healing works. Most of us know that if you go to Reiki, they will touch you. And if you're a healer, you will touch somebody to heal them. Now, what does that mean? You don't necessarily have to touch them in person, but you are usually present for the healing to happen. So what they're doing with me is they're trying to push me into a little corner, trying to extract all God's stuff out of me, to try and make some potion that's going to say, this is how we all heal. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. How many people in the collective have had people say, oh, I love being around you because once I'm around you, I feel so much better. It's about presence. So I don't really understand the strategy, and I don't really understand what they're trying to achieve. I don't know. And obviously, I'll talk about the other programs I think they're trying to achieve with the beauty and, pharmaceuticals. But for me, everything they've ever done to me that was never consented by me will probably be a problem for them in the future, because I'm sure my ancestors will curse it. Because I never agreed to any of these programs, and I never agreed to them to try and use me as some sort of lab rat study, the mad scientist. And I never agreed for them to force me into this place and then make it so difficult in the matrix for me to get out. When obviously I know God's in control, but healing doesn't work that way. And so I'm not quite sure on what their strategy is. And the whole thing of somebody putting loads of dark into light and then trying to extract energy, thinking that they're going to be able to manifest off it when they've created dark, they may as well all be crabs in a barrel and actually feed off each other. So that strategy doesn't really make sense. And then the whole blocking my crown and blocking my third eye, or trying to create that sort of blockage, when they want to get into my crown and they want to see what's in there and tinker around, but they're not going to give me downloads like that. So they'll just do it another way. So for me, the point is, doing better off having a conversation with me and having a two-way conversation rather than doing something so nefarious and malicious in the background, treating somebody like they're some sort of object rather than a human being. They probably would have learnt more, rather than using entities and attachments and trying to put dark in somebody and then trying to tinker in their crown chakra in the spiritual realm, of course, and doing it while I'm sleeping and attacking me from within with all this voodoo and this medical app, whatever it is. They'd have been better off having a conversation and seeking my consent, because I've given no consent to any of this. And so now I think everyone's running around panicking because they've done stuff that they shouldn't have done, and they don't really know how to get out of it. And then obviously all the plans to take me out and whatever all that was about. Yeah. I've left it with the spiritual realm and those righteous on the physical realm, of course. So yeah, so the whole strategy for me, the mad scientist, I have no idea, and I don't understand the strategy. I don't understand how they think it's going to work, because presence is how healing works, and that's exactly what Jesus used to do. So on that note, I'm going to leave it, because I just don't think people understand that you can't just make an elixir out of someone's energy and then that's going to be the be all and end all of healing. That's not how it works. And the fact that you haven't done it in the right way, and you haven't sought consent, and you've created a load of karma in doing it the way you've done it, and abusing somebody to do it, it's not gonna be what you want it to be anyway, because it will be cursed. How you get it is how you lose it. And do unto others as you want unto you. Luke 6:31. So I don't think the ancestors are very happy with the way it's been done. And I don't think their ancestors are very happy either, because obviously they take the punishment in the spiritual realm. So that's my point. Healing is not a bottle and an elixir. It doesn't work like that. It's about presence. And most people who are healers will know that. And keeping me locked away and attacking me with lots of different things is only just going to create more karma for people, especially when they're trying to block the forward movement, because this battle is not mine anymore. This battle is now with the powers of be. Because coming for one person with an international network, you lost the battle anyway. Because you don't come for one person and bully one person with an international network. It's not a fair fight, is it? And then to also have competition with somebody and then do all this nefarious stuff because of jealousy. It's not really a fair fight, is it? So I'm not even gonna go there, you know. Leave it to the spiritual realm and let them deal with it. The energy you put out is the energy you'll get back. So my point there is healing is not about a bottle, an elixir. It's not how it goes. It's not how it works. So people would have been better off having a conversation with me. So anyway, I'm going to love yous and leave yous, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.